Good afternoon, dear friends. Welcome to the English methodology class. I am Kishan Reddy and my topic is identification of learning difficulties in English. Learning is basically related with psychology. The experts of psychology say that there are theories of learning. At the early stages, the child's behavior is modified by the way of habit formation, modeling, imitation, repetitions, and later stages it is by cognitive thinking and knowledge is constructed thereby. But today we are going to discuss the learning difficulties in English. The child learns the mother tongue in a natural way, but when we ask this question, what are the difficulties in English, the children will give us a big list of problems. Okay, before we discuss those problems, let's glance these things. Okay, look at this. Okay, the head full of words. Head full of words come to us as we grow up regarding English subject, the spellings, grammar, comprehension, structures of sentences, and everything what not. Look at one more picture. See, once again the words are there in our brains, vocabulary, web full of words, magazine cards. See, so many words, clumsy of words are there. Look at this. Oh, as soon as you see this, the list of these words, you remember the grammar, the parts of speech. Yes, of course you are right. The verb, the adverb, noun, pronoun, adjective, vowels and consonants. Of course these two are from phonetics area. See, all these words are there which come across our subject English. See this. Of course you may be new to these symbols. Yes, you are right. These are related with phonetics, the English sounds. These are the symbols of sounds, symbols that are given by the International Phonetic Association. As you know, there are 20 vowels and 24 consonants. The chart gives you all these. Of course we don't come across these sounds in our course, but these are behind our pronunciation. Okay. Next, see, we deliver so many letters, sounds, words, phrases, and even sentences a day. See, next, oh, this looks like a web. Yeah, you are right. Web of letters, web of words. See, so all come across our way of learning. So sometimes this may be a problem to some people. Okay, I am just giving you the pictures. So what we are going to discuss is there in front of us. Now see this. It looks like the words which are related to a particular area. Yeah, you are right. Weather. The words which are related with weather. Of course these words come under vocabulary, sometimes synonyms. Okay, see. Next, oh, very tough area for learners. Grammar. See, tenses. As soon as we touch the area tenses, children will be afraid of. See, there are 5 tenses given in the chart: present simple, present past simple, continuous tense, present continuous, present perfect, and future tense is going to be going to. Okay, it looks like simple, but it is very tough area. It depends on the way we introduce to children, then they take it easy. Once again, the structures in English. As you know, the sentence structure in English is subject plus verb plus object. Here it is adjective, but generally S plus V plus O. It is somewhat different from our Indian languages. We have subject plus object plus verb. Verb comes at the end, but here you see the verb in the middle. So this is again difficult for learners. See, when I asked the question to children, are there any other problems? They expressed their problems like this. They gave a big list of words. Of course, some of these are already there. Now see, they said grammar, sir. So it means that their expression is very big. So in fact, grammar makes them afraid of that area. Pronunciation is one more big area. Sounds, sir, they say sounds, sir. See, sounds are also a very big problem for them. Sometimes this, sometimes that. And one more big problem is that the spellings do not match the sounds. So it is a very big area, big difficult area for them. Vocabulary, oh yes, it's a real worry. In fact, okay, catching vocabulary is not that easy to teach it. No expert teachers, of course. If the expert teachers are there at primary stages, then the learners would not have got so many difficulties at young ages. See, this is the main problem for them. The teachers at primary stages have to be mastered of these areas to remove the difficultness in the children. See, the fear, phobia. Generally, students think English is a difficult area. They are afraid of what they have to exhibit. In fact, English is there to exhibit or express. And the present pedagogy says the language is full of discourses, expressions either orally or written. So the phobia or the fear doesn't allow them to go forward or to stand before. See how the boy is shivering there in the picture in front of the others. Next picture, again the boy is shivering when we ask him to speak a few words of English in a class. See, either alone or in a group, children feel it difficult to speak English words. See, come to the next area, what they expressed, no regular practice. Of course, in a 45 minutes of a time in a class, they are exposed to English language. But after that, what happens next? In a day, as long as they stay in the school, and when they go home, is there any English exposure to them? And do they practice at home? Do they practice outside the classroom? Do they practice outside the school? It's a very difficult answer. Some children do so, but some do not. They don't practice English regularly, and even their regularity is a big problem. Some students do not come to school regularly. That is a big problem. And see the next area, translation method of teaching English. It's a very big problem for them to learn English or to overcome the difficulty of learning at early stages. Translation method of teaching English. Of course, this was there long ago, but even till today, some teachers follow the method of translating the contents and components, the items, the context, everything into the local mother tongue. See this. But if we think that does this work in the class? Do they understand our translation? Of course, they understand the translation, but they do not catch English language there. But of course, teachers may think that we are helping the children by translating into mother tongue. But what about the children from other languages? Are we doing justice for them? This is a big problem for us. So dear teacher trainees, think of this when you go for teaching practice. Think of this while translating. Realize that there are children from other languages too in the class. The children may come from Marathi background, children may come from tribal languages background, and children may come from the Urdu background. So think that you are not helping, you are helping only a part of children by translating things, only Telugu people. But what about the other children? See, now this is one more big area. No English atmosphere. Yes, of course. For any language learning, atmosphere is very, very important. When the child lives at home, the atmosphere is great there. Atmosphere of mother tongue, atmosphere of second language is great there. But when he comes to school and when he is coming to English class, then he has a lots of hopes on English teacher, whether he has to listen to English or not. But see, the atmosphere, of course, in school, in a class 45 minutes, there is a little atmosphere for English exposure. In a 45 minutes, of course, more than half an hour. But whereas outside the classroom and outside the school, there is no English atmosphere. Of course, people know English words, discrete words. Of course, they know words. Even if you ask an illiterate parent, he or she gives more than 100 English words. But does it work for a child to overcome the problem of learning English? Of course, it is not so. These are the discrete words only. And without realizing that they are using English words, parents use these words at home. It doesn't create English atmosphere. Unless the whole sentence is uttered at home for simple actions, this won't work. So please, teachers, dear trainees, think of this area when you go for teaching practice. Next area, no support outside the school. Yeah, of course. For any language learning, support is required. Support of teachers, support of parents, support of society, support of friends, counterparts. This is required. And when we refer to the outside the school, then there is not much support for English. So children feel English still a difficult subject for them. Next, influence of mother tongue. Yeah, of course. When they put a sentence, mother tongue sentence into English, then the mother tongue interferes and influences them to a great extent. So it is very hard for them to come over of their mother tongue influence. So who will remove this influence of mother tongue? Of course, we cannot remove some of the sounds. The sounds are absent in their mother tongue, so we cannot remove that. For example, a child from Bihari language says 5 instead of 5, because it is not the fault of that boy, because the sound fa is absent in their language. Likewise, the absence of such sounds in their mother tongue will influence the learning of English language. And regarding the formation of sentences also, mother tongue is influenced. So that's why children don't use English. Instead, they are very, very comfortable in using mother tongue. Of course, now and then they use English words. When they speak Telugu or Hindi or Urdu or Marathi, they use one or two English words, but it doesn't serve our purpose. See, next area. Oh, silent letters, a very big problem for the learners. See, we say what, but we write WH80 and we don't pronounce it. Child will face a lot of difficulties in writing and pronouncing these words. All areas have, almost all A to Z words have these silent letters. There is a big list of words in that. The silent H, silent T group, silent K group, as in knife, knee, knot, knitting, now, knob, knock, knickers, knuckle, and silent last group says silent B, as in lamb. It's not lamb but lamb, thumb instead of thumb, num, crumb, climbing not climbing, bomb instead of bomb, comb instead of comb. Okay, see, there are a lot of words like this which affect the child's pronunciation. Next area, see again A to Z, we have the silent letters, words with silent letters. We write something and we pronounce it in another way. This is a big problem for them. So by oral practice only we can come across such things. By graphic reading we can overcome such difficulty. Okay, so see, the comprehension is one more big area of difficulty. Comprehension, this is very, very important for learners. The comprehension means two kinds of comprehension: listening comprehension and reading comprehension. Listening to English with an understanding is a problem, and reading to a text and understanding it is a problem. See, there are lot of techniques of understanding reading comprehension: reading the lines, reading between the lines, and reading beyond the lines. But these are techniques only. The techniques are to be introduced in the classroom only. When they are exposed to these techniques, they read the text with a proper understanding, and they listen to any speaker with trying to understand what he said. But here he said comprehension is a big problem for them to overcome, and if they overcome this problem, they will pass the exams also without any problem. Now one more problem: punctuation. Full stops, commas, colons, semicolons, okay, question marks, slashes, quotation marks, apostrophes, exclamation marks. So many are there. Of course these things come under conventions of writing when we speak about the discourses. So punctuation is a very big area for them at early stages. So by graphic reading only they have to come across this at early stages. Now we are coming to the end of the problems. Multilingualism, they said the students come from other areas often complain that they do not understand the translation method, because either they come from the tribal languages or any other languages of our country. So multilingualism refers to the other multilingual languages, children from multi languages in a single class. This is a big problem for them. So which language is better for them? Which language suits for them in the class? Do you think Telugu helps for them? Yeah, now you have to think that use English to English. Of course, whenever the context needs, then you can go for the mother tongue translations, but do not go on using mother tongue translation all the way, all the things, all the sentences. Multilingualism. So think that there are children from other languages too. Now shyness, it looks simple, the word looks simple, but it's a very, very difficult. Shyness. Because of shyness, many people can't speak even 2 or 3 simple words in front of the others, in spite of their knowing many words. If we ask them individually to write English words, they write 1,000 words. Even if you ask a class 5 child, more than 200, 300 words he will be able to write. But because of shyness, the child will not be able to utter a single word or simple word. That is the main problem, shyness. And etc., etc., etc. Many problems are there. See, now we are coming to the next important area. Why do they think English language difficult? It's a $1,000,000 question. Why? We have to ask ourselves, why is English a difficult problem? Why are we unable to identify the difficult areas for them? If we identify the reasons for their difficultiness, perhaps we may be able to introduce to them the simple ways of the remedies. Now, let us go one by one once again. The reasons: improper teaching methods. Once again, the methods. If the teachers use improper methods, then English will be a difficult area for them forever. So, which is the best method? There have been so many methods to teach English, but as you are aware of the latest teaching methods, this is a beautiful method, and that is constructivist method, or the child-centered method, or even discourse method, you can call it discourse-oriented pedagogy. So think of this: children will have to be access or aware of the new methods of teaching English, and how this new method makes them understand the concept of the content there. Next, unnatural way of teaching English. Again, what is a natural way of teaching English? Naturally, the natural way of learning any language is LSRW. No, as you know, the B.Ed people might have known this: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, of course, right? Natural order of learning any language. Okay, the child learns mother tongue in a natural way, LSRW. But what about learning English? Is there any exposure for the child to learn in this way? Listening, speaking, reading, writing? Is there listening at home? Is there speaking at home? The child comes to school at the age of 5 years, then we are teaching English to him. So now, is there any real exposure of listening and speaking to children at class 1 at the school? Think of this. You have English methodology, okay, in your D.Ed course. Then think of this when you go for teaching practice. Think of this. Use the natural way of teaching English. Give them exposure of listening and speaking more in primary classes, class 1 and 2. At 80% of exposure must be given to listening and speaking. Then, okay, then comes reading and writing. Of course, graphic reading first, and writing comes later. Next, point C: teachers not updating their knowledge. Oh, very big area, good point. Teachers not updating their knowledge. If the teachers teach the old concepts, old examples only, the children lose their interest. Instead, if we give latest examples for them, it grows them the interest. Of course, I also used one or two latest examples later. You will have them later, what the new examples are. One more area: students' irregularity. Of course, teachers often face this problem of irregularity. If the students come regularly, then the problems will be solved, but the irregularity is a big problem for them. Again, they have to start from the starting point only. This is a big problem for the teacher friends. Okay, now this has to be solved. It is an administrative problem, of course. Then go to next area: uninterest in students. Okay, is the generation having interest in English? Do they show interest in English? Of course, they show interest in English through other areas. For example, if you give a mobile phone, if you give a cell phone, smartphone, they type English only. They go into the areas or components of that cell phone deeply by typing in English only, by understanding the English words only. How come they understand English there? Even the teachers or elders do not know where to go to certain medias. They are in cell phone. But even if you ask a 3 years old child or 4 years old child, he will be able to go deep into that the medias, multimedia in a cell phone. Then uninterested students, why English is not an interested subject for them? We have to think of that. Is there a problem with them, or is there a problem with us only? My friends, think of this. Now one more big reason is examination oriented teaching. Of course, are we aiming at passing the exams only? We have to think. We have to analyze that. Are exams so important for them? Then they pass the exams. If we concentrate on examination oriented teaching, surely they pass in the exams, but they fail in producing English outside the classroom, outside the society, in their real life situations. This is a very, very big problem. Then think of this. So we have to grow the competencies simultaneously so that they develop competencies of English as well as they pass the exams. But think of this, grades are not very, very important. Of course they are important, but language is very important. So we have to remove the difficultiness of learning, then difficultiness of learning a language there. Next, spellings confuse them. We have already discussed, often spellings confuse them. We write something, we pronounce in a different way. So this is a big problem for them. Of course, the teachers will clear the problem in a course of teaching. Reasons are reasons. Okay, now we are going through the reasons. See, one more reason, not able to understand the usage of English. See, the students do not understand the latest usage of English. If you use I wanna go, they do not understand, of course. But by regular use of these utterances, one day they come to an understanding what it means. Okay, regular usage. Teacher must be aware of the regular usage, latest usage of English language. Then we can introduce such utterances to them. I have those examples also. I will be giving those examples later today itself. Now next reason is not able to speak fluently. Okay, this is a problem. Children do not speak fluently. Are we speaking English fluently? This is a big problem to even some of the teachers also. Even when I attended a school complex meeting recently, the teachers complained to me. That spoken English is a very, very big problem. I said to them, your class is the best place for improving spoken English. Your children are the best masters for you to correct your English. Then they laughed at me. Oh, sir, you are joking. No, it's not a joke. Classroom is the best place to correct our English, to improve our spoken English, to improve fluency also. See, so not able to speak fluently. If we are using the language every day in the class, then the fluency automatically comes. I watched some of the schools where teachers are regularly using English outside the classrooms. Then I just had the experience, real experience. I quoted this to the teachers of school complex areas. So they heard it. Let us wait and see whether they practice or not. Now one more reason, not getting any benefits of using English immediately. Of course, we don't get the benefits of English language immediately in the classroom. After passing 10th class, we go out for intermediate, and again passing of exams is very important there at intermediate level. After passing intermediate, we go to degree. See, immediate benefit is not there, of course, but when you go to a bank, then you have to face the English. When you go to a computer class, English is important. When you go to an interview, even after 10th or intermediate, then English is important. English is very, very important. Okay, now think of this. We have to make the children realize the English benefits of learning English is immediate, not so late. It's not that after completing graduation or engineering the benefits come, not like that, but benefits are there. We have to make them realize the benefits at an early age. Of course, without our teaching they are able to realize. They go to a kirana shop and buy the things perfectly, even better than you and I. If you ask them to buy an Oreo biscuit, then they will buy it very perfectly. They identify the duplicateness in the shop because of their proper reading. That is the benefit of English there, but it is not taught by us. We have to teach first, and we have to take the benefits. We have to take the credits of that teaching English at the classroom. Of course, authentic material, I will come to that area later. Teaching of authentic material, uses of authentic material. Now there are so many problems because of time constraint. Let us go quickly. Not creating or maintaining English atmosphere in the school. Of course, atmosphere is compulsory, as we have already discussed. Not encouraging the students for improving spoken English out of their errors in spoken form. We have to encourage the students who commit mistakes. We have to encourage them. Of course, whenever I visit the schools, I encourage the teachers to commit thousands of mistakes in spoken English, but when they write a single word on the board, blackboard, be aware of that. So I advise the teachers, I advise my teacher trainees there in Diet Adilabad, I advise many people to write a single word on the board without mistakes, but in spoken English you can commit mistakes, otherwise how can you correct your English? No one can be perfect in a single day. So commit mistakes, thereby correct your mistakes, spoken English. Unless we speak English, the children are not exposed to English. Students do not determine to speak English. Of course, this is from students' side. One more, not able to catch the structures in English, S plus V plus O. Of course, as I told you the latest example, Bahubali killed Balladeva, subject plus verb plus object. Okay, in Indian languages, the structure is S plus V plus O. Bahubali Balladeva killed. Do you think it sounds good? No, it looks odd also. Bahubali Balladevunni champadu. In Telugu it's good, but in English Bahubali Balladeva killed. Structures are structures only. So we have to follow S plus V plus O in English. So again, structures are there. Passive construction, a rat is eaten by a cat, then he is taller than I, she is the most beautiful woman on the earth. Degrees of comparison. He said that he would go in direct speech or reported speech. Examples of grammar. So not able to catch the language in usage. I told you, okay, these examples earlier. Hey, you there, how do you do? I wanna go. You fool. Even scolding in English. Get me there. See me tomorrow or see you tomorrow. Regular usage must be there outside the classroom. These things are different from our subject, teaching English, teaching a lesson there. Okay, one more. Beautiful language, SMS or message language accepted by all. See, when you chat with your friend, see you there, what do you write there? Letter C, letter U, instead of THERE, DERE, see you there. Before, before. See, good night, good morning, how are you? So these are written in a short form. Of course, you are very, very perfect than even elders how to use short forms for SMS and messages. And this language is accepted by many people, but see, message language is message language only, but you cannot write this in examinations. Okay, of course. Now going to the one more funny area, boring classes. Children are not interested because the class is boring. Children sleep sometimes, they are in drowsiness because of boring classes. Are we making the classes effective? Think of that, dear my dear friends. Okay. Now, reasons for the issue of reading comprehension, the problem of reading comprehension. We read the lines as discrete sentences but not as a whole. There is no habit of reading extensively. The process of reading may not be correct. Because of these problems, there is not much comprehension in reading. Next, the pace of reading is very slow, or often we go back to previous ones. The words are very new, difficult to us. We don't try to get a meaning of a new word in that context. Okay, see, this is a very important point. We have to get the meaning of a new word in that context first. Then only we have to try to know the meaning in mother tongue. Then how can you, if you go on relying on mother tongue, then it's not very easy to understand or comprehend much in the given text. See, now we are coming to the most important area of this class, how to solve these problems or remedies for these learning problems. Of course, remedies are there with you even, but I am just reminding, revising those points once again. How to overcome the issues of listening. Listening is foremost skill. Oh, see, the boy is laughing, pulling his ears wide. Okay, it doesn't mean that we have to pull the ears out, but give your ears. When someone is speaking, we have to give ears to the speaker. Okay, with some interest, how the boy is laughing. Okay, without interest, without focusing, we cannot listen to someone. Listening to an English channel will improve pronunciation skills. English channel. Some English cartoons are very helpful due to pace of speaking in them. Different characters speak very slow and you can understand every word they speak, and it makes easy for you to correct your pronunciation. So cartoon shows are very helpful for learners. Then focused listening at important times, listening with comprehension, listening to English every day, it should be habit. Listening to English for fun and enjoyment, as I told you, cartoon shows for enjoyment, sing a song, listen to rhymes, they give enjoyment to us. So see the picture. Passive listening, of course passive listening sometimes helps without reacting, not like in the chart. In the picture, see, within the picture what is there? There are two people conversating with each other. After some time the listener says, I am sorry, were you talking to me? Then imagine the speaker's position there. So it is not like that. Passive listening, but be attentive to the speaker, what he says. We have to stop the other works and listen to the persons. As radio is the best media or tool to improve listening skill, listening habit. We can do other works as well as simultaneously we can listen to radio. Spoken English, one more big problem. How to improve spoken English? Speaking continuously, not bothering about the mistakes. Yeah, of course. Find a close companion, friend to continue conversation every day, either directly or on phone. I said companion, close friend. It's not with all friends, because the friend must support your English, so you can improve your English there. Listen to English every day. This can be done alone, either to radio, news, or a TV English. Radio English or TV English. Then radio is the best one. English news only, right? Then after that, 1 minute activities are the best ways to improve our spoken English. Classroom is the best place, as I already told you, best place to improve spoken English. Next, speak and speak is the rule to address this issue. Whether you speak wrong or right, but don't give up speaking, and this will end shyness also. As I already told you, the shyness obstructs our English. So to remove shyness, we have to be very cautious. Okay, so give up shyness by speaking English regularly. How to overcome issues of reading? Yeah, very good one. Remedies of reading: comprehension problem, regular reading habits, reading simple texts first, reading books for pleasure, and reading with understanding. Reading is not isolated thing. It is not discrete reading of sentences. It is reading with understanding, reading with linking the two sentences, reading beyond the text also. And reading includes sharing with co-learners what we read. Reading and reflecting, involving ourselves in post-reading activities. Okay, so there are activities after reading, we have to involve in those activities, then we can overcome the problem of reading. So comprehend while reading, this is very important. Then start writing what we read and understand. See, many of us will not write after reading. So whatever we read, just to try to produce that on a paper, then we remember, and we can produce so many discourses in writing form. Read and write, they are interlinked. Okay. Now vocabulary, how to improve vocabulary. Then newspapers, English newspapers. So improve this habit of reading English newspaper every day. This will improve our language, as well as this will improve our vocabulary, and as well as sense of making sentences. For my friends, don't forget this. And problem of grammar is a very big area, and it is not essential to learn grammar, but our textbooks say it is not essential to learn a language grammar in a discrete form or isolated, but it is very basic to correct our language. Therefore a grammar book will help us to overcome this problem. Now see, there is a passive learning and active learning. Percentage is there, 70 to 90% is there for active learning, and for passive learning 10 to 50% is there. The chart gives us so. And how to overcome the issues of writing. Practicing the written discourses regularly, such as descriptions, conversations, stories, essays. Of course I wrote all the discourses here. Letters, biographies, invitations, notice, posters. See, all the discourses are here. Poems, skits, play, drama, speech, ads, slogans, and other forms of language too. Now how to get feedback? Feedback is very important for us, my dear friends. Feedback, whatever you learn, whatever you practice, the feedback is compulsory. Then how do we get the feedback? When you start practicing these skills, there may be doubts arising, clarifications required, where to go, whom to ask, where to ask, when to ask, how do they react. Then the answer to these questions. Friends, you can go to friends. Books are there, books clarify our doubts. Teachers are there, go to teachers. Library is there, parents are there, small children who listen to you, and the most important person is you. This means speak to you, speak to yourself. You can be the best friend to you. Speak to your inner self. You can clarify many doubts. Friends, don't forget, I will be coming next time, as we discussed so many points here. Let me say bye to this moment, and bye. Take care always. We have discussed so many points so far. Identification of learning difficulties in English, and please overcome these difficulties, and thereby you can help the children in the schools. Bye for now, and all the best. Thank you dear friends.